The Southern California wildfires have many asking what could have been done to prevent that disaster. One startup company in Santa Fe, working with the Los Alamos National Laboratory, believes they may have the answer. News 13's Chad Brummett has more as part of our original series, New Mexico Frontiers.
In April of 2022, the largest wildfire in the state's history erupted in northern New Mexico. The Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire would ultimately destroy nearly 342,000 acres and more than 900 structures, severely impacting residents, businesses, and communities. Quite possibly the most frustrating component to this incident is the fact that the Hermit's Peak wildfire first started as a controlled burn. The incident begs the question, could the disaster have been prevented? The answer is what New Mexico startup SciVista is now chasing.
Yes, you could point to Hermit's Peak as one thing, but what the real need for in this country is this. We've spent over 100 years not doing prescribed burns. So we have a tinderbox of forests in this country ready to be ignited.
Crews on the ground that day did follow procedures and policies. There were a lot of missteps leading up to it.
Hermit's Peak is a prime example of what can happen if just one variable to a prescribed burn goes awry. SciVista's new product, FireVista, hopes to equip firefighters and forestry departments with a dynamic visualization of how the prescribed burn will actually go.
So I'm setting up an actual fire line, planning out a fire burn in a specific area. Then it shows me the fire propagation of what would happen if these conditions existed and if all the fuels that are there are actually there in real life. This is what it should be expected that happens.
Using data compiled by Los Alamos National Lab's QuickFire, a program with 30 years of scientific collection behind it, FireVista can create a virtual environment for multiple users to test what will happen during a prescribed burn before a single drip torch is ignited.
We have not just immersive technologies where you're in virtual reality looking at 3D data, 3D file types, all in an environment that you can basically reach out, grab your data, stretch out the data, rotate the data, but you can do it collaboratively. So you could connect with multiple users in this one environment. So now science is not locked to a single user. You can collaborate with people all around the world, looking at data, making decisions about data, and coming together.
Thomas Vaz, Chief Operations Officer for SciVista, says that multiple variables, including terrain, fuel type, underbrush, atmosphere, wind conditions, and more, can be plugged into the program or omitted, giving a much more accurate picture of how the prescribed burn will behave. This will equip planners with the information they need to proceed, alter, or postpone a burn, preventing fires like the Hermit's Peak blaze from ever igniting.
It's the first and really reliable 3D fire propagation model that's on the market, and we're really the only company directly involved with the labs to take that data and build these visualizers.
Los Alamos National Lab says that the key to reducing more wildfires are prescribed burns. With decades, even centuries of underbrush accumulating throughout the country, clearing out kindling in our national forests is one of the best ways to prevent disaster.
There's communities who are saying, no, 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 you're not burning down my trees. That's part of my property over here. But if we can actually show that community and say, well, here's what happens if one little ember goes up near your house is gone. It's a lot different discussion that we can start having with people if we can plan ahead of time, as opposed to the disaster happens and we say, well, it would have been great if we had a tool. Well, we have a tool. That's what we're saying is today, this tool exists and we're now able to start that increase in prescribed burning across the nation that really needs to happen.
Chad Brummett, KRQE News 13.
SciVista says they can create data-based virtual environments for a variety of applications, including architecture and planning, space exploration, and even nuclear fusion.